The warrants, they have been passed around. 3.0 adjustments to the agenda. Do we have anything?
We do have an amendment, if you'll allow, an 8.5, a nomination for a scholarship committee member. So that'd be 8.5. And the only other thing is to remove, under 8.1, we have William Gehring under there. His name does not need to be listed, so we can take his name off from that. So if you will be okay with that, that's the only amendment.
Sure. 8.5, you said scholarship member nomination.
Correct.
Okay, thank you. With that, 4.0 approval of the minutes. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Is second. Thank you. Any further discussion? All in favor? Motion carries. Thank you. 5.0 public comment.
We do have some, do you want me to get the paper
Yeah.
for you?
Thank you. Thank you, Mark. First comment is Stephanie Brissett, talking about 8.6, I believe, proposed budget elimination.
I just wanted to write off a couple packets for you guys to share.
Thank you.
As I'm speaking.
Stephanie, just some tidbits that I've added to every meeting. We will cap it at 3 minutes just for sake of time. Yes, thank you, Dave. The button will go up, but go ahead, you have the floor.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. I'm here this evening to advocate for the Ed Tech position in the Caribou Community School Learning Commons, which we are sitting in this evening. I'd like to point out that the district named this location a learning commons. It was meant to represent an area that is a collaborative learning environment for students that includes learning experiences, not just a chance for students to check out independent reading materials. It is disheartening that our district would cut a position that academically supports our students. I've been a librarian at this district for 20 years. There has always been an ed tech in the learning commons to support the librarian, staff, and students. The impact we have on the Caribou Community School children extends beyond the classroom. The support Stacy provides in her role as an ed tech allows me to go above and beyond in my role as the district librarian. This provides exemplary and outstanding opportunities for our students. This is a summary of what the Learning Commons offers to our learning community. Pre-K and K begin their literacy journey with exposure to a variety of genres and library etiquette. Grades 1 and 2 are treated to a library experience that begins with the Chickadee Award nominee books and ends with STEAM projects. Our collaboration with the Innovation Center has been a crucial part of this learning experience. These have included the use of virtual reality headsets, computer code-driven cars, design thinking opportunities, and air rocket launching, just to name a few. Grade 3 students continue a journey of literary and STEAM exposure, but we also begin teaching keyboard skills, which is not specifically, to my knowledge, taught in any other context. Grade 4 students also continue a journey of literary and STEAM exposure, but we also begin teaching computer coding skills. I believe I am the only person in the district offering direct computer instruction to our children. In addition to literary and STEAM instruction, grade 5 students receive direct computer instruction to focus on research skills and how to use our Google Education software. Grade 6 students were strictly computer technology students. I provided instruction for design thinking, app design, artificial intelligence, and game design. As an aside, these students will no longer have computer technology as a special. It has been replaced with innovation. All these things are the in-class interactions we have with our children. They are made possible with Stacy's support. In addition, there are a multitude of extras that are made possible with an ed tech. Here are some of those examples. In the past 2 years, I have applied for and received Maine Department of Education technology grants. Our students now have access to a print-to-garment machine and a banner printer. The total amount awarded to me in this school through my efforts was $17,000.
Sorry,
I have a teeny tiny bit more, but
that's fine.
thank you. I provide reading challenges with tangible incentives for students at all the grade levels. This includes parents involved by reading to their lower elementary child and recording those minutes. I spearheaded professional development for middle level science teachers. This was an opportunity with a South African company named Max IQ. I might add that I was recognized by Educate Maine and the Maine Spaceman Grant Consortium for this effort. I have a long-standing relationship with statewide computer science professionals that offer chances for our students to benefit from materials and funding from other sources, such as the Perloff Foundation grants. These have provided 2 3D printers and equipment for air rocket units. These endeavors are not possible without Stacy doing some of the classroom maintenance, such as shelving books, cataloging new books, maintaining the book vending machine, creating inspiring infographics, and so on. I hope that the board can demonstrate support for all the learning experiences that Stacy and I offer as a team in the Learning Commons by keeping this EdTech position intact. I truly appreciate your time this evening and your attention to this matter. I provided a small packet with a copy of this appeal letter and photographs of our children enjoying all that we offer in the Learning Commons. And I will make myself available to answer any questions or to have further conversation about the role that we play in this. Thank you.
Our second speaker is Stacy Randazzo. Did I say that right? Thank you.
AKA Barbieri. Many of you know. Good evening. I am Stacy Barbieri Randazzo. I am the EdTech 3 here in the Learning Commons. I must apologize in advance if this appears hastily written, because in fact it was. This morning at 8:10, I was informed that my position was being eliminated. This came as a huge surprise to both me and my supervisor, Stephanie Brissett. Within only a few hours to get my thoughts in order about this development, I'm sure I will leave out many things that are vital for the board to understand about the impact that this will have on CCS students. Our library is not just a read a story, pick a book area like the school libraries most of us grew up knowing. It is a true learning commons that is unique because we provide enrichment and support to the pre-K classroom curriculums. We engage and challenge children every day with literature-based activities, STEAM projects, and computer literacy that many of our children in the Caribou and surrounding areas would not experience if the staff in the Learning Commons is reduced. Examples of our curriculum this year, just to name a few, were the Chickadee books, as Stephanie said, where we write and implement lesson plans that focus on topics in these main books. Black Beach featured the topic of Earth Day and oil spills, where our grades K through 2 simulated an oil spill and needed to clean it up using various materials and methods and working in small cooperative groups. The 3 Little Guinea Pigs gave students the opportunity to compare and contrast a new take on an old story. K through 2 and elementary life skills students constructed shelters for their 3D printed guinea pigs. How to Dragon, our K through kids created dragons, and the middle school life skills students fabricated catapults to compete for distance. These are just a tiny slice in the opportunities that the Learning Commons allows us to supplement CCS students with. Those are the academic aspects that will be lost. The other half that will be lost by eliminating my position is pure logistic and clerical. As you can obviously see, this room is immense. It requires constant maintenance, from cataloging books, which isn't just opening boxes and putting them on the shelves. It's physically going through books, giving them barcodes, making sure they're appropriate for the area that they're going into cataloging them into our 11,000 plus volume library. I have just much Shelving, decorating, because we display student work, new books, bulletin boards that are constantly changing. The vending machine that is supported by our beneficiary will probably get neglected, as well as eliminating my position as the director of Aroostook Right to Read. Cleaning, dusting, vacuuming, sweeping, plant care are just a few duties that I carry out daily or weekly. Children need visual stimulation, as you all know, to compete in this very video-oriented world, and changing things weekly and monthly are crucial. It is, however, a labor of love, and I take great pride in the appearance of our space. This is a huge loss for me, our children, and our school district. And 3 minutes is nowhere near long enough to fully explain how devastated I am. I feel I'm losing my home that I have spent the last 3 years building, and I truly hope that you will reconsider this decision. Thank you.
That brings us to district report, 6.1 RSU39 third quarter financial report. Mr. Bouchard?
This will go quite quickly because we've had a very good quarter. Revenues continue to outpace expenses, again, which is where we always want to be. Our revenues are up about $1 million from last year at this time, but this is mostly due to our increased state subsidy and, of course, our increase in municipal assessments as our budget increased last year.
Because you had the net income on there, it's 77% where you're at right now. And then for the expenditures, you're 67, so you have a 10% difference.
Right.
So what happens between last year and this year to make that difference?
Well, it's just different. You're talking about the revenues?
One offsetting the other. Your revenue outpaced your expenditures.
Right.
So what?
It's just that we didn't spend as much, or our spending, I guess, is slowed. It could catch up in the final quarter, but the revenue just outpaced. It's designed to outpace expenses so that we end up with a carryover.
Right.
But yeah, it's just.
No, I was pleased to see that. But what my question driving over here tonight was to what happened, why, what the difference?
Just slow. I mean, spending is not at the normal rate, I guess.
That sounds a good problem.
General fund expenditures, which is section 2. Again, those look, very good. They're where I would expect them at three quarters of the way through the year. So we're at 67% of expenditures, and the litmus test would say we could be at 75% and still be good. And I just ironically looked back at last year, and we were at 67% then at that time too. So just probably a coincidence, but again, the general fund expenses are good. New building construction, really no change there. We still have not had our audit, and I'm hoping that we get it at some point, because we're sitting on a lot of money that's state money, and it's just we're having to manage it and report the interest and all that, and we're going to get to keep some, but we don't know how much. But the audit needs to be done so we can send the money back and close out this project, close out the account.
And remind me, they don't have a deadline. It's just when they get to it.
Right, and then there's a two staff audit team, and they again had some turnover where 50% of their department, one of their staff went on to took another job somewhere, and they've since hired, so they keep assuring me, yeah, we're going to get to you, But,
Happens a lot down there.
I mean, it's not a big problem. It's just that we, keep the books rolling, and I just want to get it behind us. School's been done for 5 years, and we started this project in August of 2014 was when we were or July of 2014, we were notified that we were gonna get this school, and I think it's time to close it out. Section 4, the reserve loan expenditures section. Again, no change since our last report. We're sitting currently on an available balance of $78,052. The next several sections actually, adult ed, state, and other federal, and nutrition. I mean, they're all performing as expected. Would not, nothing really to report at this point. Jumping to section 9, scholarships, we did have activity there, and in the first quarter, that's when we pay out our scholarship funds out to the respective institutions of higher learning, and those were scholarships that were actually selected by the committee for last year's graduating class. So they're selected, and then we make sure that the student goes through one semester, and then they have to report their grades and that sort of thing before we send money to the college. Student activity accounts, again, no issues. All balances are really good. And finally, we're currently transitioning to our new Apt2Fund software or accounting management system, and payroll, HR, accounts receivable, and accounts payable are now operating 100% on the new system. And next week, pretty much my stuff, the general ledger and fixed assets, we hope to have those rolled over. You probably noticed on the warrant pages, they look a little different. We're still tweaking those to get them, to how we'd like to see them, but
Transition was okay.
transition was really amazing. I mean, after experiencing the one, 3 years ago, which was insane, it went very, very well. The transition team actually came and spent 2 days with us, which is unheard of. They're both from Maine, from southern Maine, so they had a 6-hour drive, I think, to get here, but that made all the difference. Because and payroll was why they were here, to execute our first payroll. So that rolled out, and as far as we know, it's gone very, very well. Yeah, that's all I have.
Any questions for the department? Thank you. Old business, I believe 7.1 are policies. Consider revisions, updates to policies. We'll start with policy JICJ, student use of cellular telephones and other electronic devices.
Not being on the board before, so what are the significant changes between what it was before to what's being revised to now?
So the policy that we currently have allows students to use, at the high school level, they allow students to use cell phones before school, after school, in between classes, lunch time, that pretty much so covers it. So outside of instructional time. At this building, they're supposed to have them in their backpacks during the day, and they're not allowed to use them at all unless it's the end of the day to call. This new policy is no cell phones at all during the school day, not during breaks or lunch periods or
For everybody.
whatever, for everyone, kindergarten through grade 12. And we already have a cell phone, I know it's come up before, a cell phone policy for staff, which states that they should not be on cell phones if it's during instructional time. So basically, it's their planning periods, their lunchtime, or when they don't have students in the class before school and after school. But for this student cell phone, it'd be zero cell phone policy, and I think it'd probably be kept up to date. They just looked at a bill where somebody put it in to have, cell phones banned from all schools statewide in all schools. But they feel that so many schools are already addressing this that they didn't need to do the whole statewide ban.
This would be the second read for the next
This is
meeting.
the second and final, if you so choose. Yes.
Um,
And I don't know,
We
Jan,
would implement this into the next school year.
In the fall, we would implement it. So there's some, work to be done to help support staff on how to ensure that students are abiding by the rules. The building administrators have already been discussing levels of consequences. Obviously, it starts out more mildly than grows to the point where, we take the phone until the end of the day and they're not allowed to have it back. We've talked a little bit at the high school level about the end of the day, 2:30-ish. If kids need to call home, practice, ride, whatever, we'll be reasonable once the school day has ended. But pretty much so during the school day and instructional time, 8 to 3, no students should not have any cell phones, be using any cell phones at all.
I move to
Thank you.
have this as a final read for our policy of JICJ.
Is there a second?
Second. Jen, are you there? I didn't know if she wanted to vote or not. But
If she was on the committee, I'm assuming that it would be a positive.
I was just giving her an option if you want.
She's putting makeup on somebody.
It's on my message, I just asked if I could click title in.
Can you say that again, Jan?
I said, I had messaged, I wondered if it was okay if I could just text those my vote.
You want her to text or just,
We're gonna vote right now, Jan.
this is on the cell phone policy.
All in favor?
Yeah, to try it and then we can always revisit and revise, a policy, whatever, so I think we need to start somewhere.
Okay.
Agreed.
Thank you. All in favor? Motion carries. Second policy GBN family and medical leave. This is also the second and/or final read. And I think this is just laying out the new changes to the FMLA.
The other one was very outdated, and so working with Shelby and Lori and I, it just needed to be updated to be current.
Mostly following statute, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is, yeah. If no one has any questions, I move that we accept the family medical leave code GBN.
Second?
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Jen, did you have a vote on this one?
Favor?
In favor? Okay, thank you.
Thank you. That brings us to new business, and we will start with 8.1, teacher nominations. I am going to list every individual teacher only because when we changed the format of our agendas, Lori brought to my attention that instead of grouping them, they need to be individual. So we'll start with our 8.1 teacher nominations, probation second year. Libby Durko.
So moved.
Second?
Any further discussion? All in favor? Thank you. Chelsea Hopkins.
So moved.
Second?
Any further discussion? All in favor? So moved. Thank you.
She's saying aye. If she disagrees, I'll let you know.
Katie Jepson.
So moved.
Second?
Any further discussion? All in favor? Motion carried. Thank you. Kim Jones.
So moved.
Second?
Any further discussion? All in favor? Motion
Aye.
carries. Thank you. Samantha Swallow.
So moved. Thought we were splitting.
Anyone say second?
Second?
Thank you. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you. Josh Wimmer.
So moved.
Second?
Any further discussion? All in favor? Motion carries. Thank you. And then that brings us to continuing contract. Michael Ackler.
So moved.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor? Motion carries, thank you. Amanda Baker,
So moved.
Second.
any further discussion? All in favor? Motion carries, thank you. Samantha Drost,
So moved.
Second.
any further discussion? All in favor? Motion carries, thank you. Lydia Pelletier,
So moved.
Second.
any further discussion? All in favor? Motion carries, thank you. Michelle Rockwell,
So moved.
Second.
any further discussion? All in favor? Motion carries, thank you. Hope Shea,
So moved.
Second.
any further discussion? All in favor? Thank you, motion carries. 8.2, Caribou Regional Technology Center CDL instructor.
Yes, we'd like to nominate Norman Saucier, who's here with us tonight, as the replacing Tom Houston, who's retiring as a CDL instructor. And Mr. Saucier is currently working as a CDL instructor up at a tech center in the Valley, and has years of experience driving trucks prior to that. So that's the nomination we bring before you.
We have no problem stealing it from another center.
I have no control, I have no control over who applies.
You need a motion, please?
Yes.
We move to place Norman Saucier in a CDL position at our tech center.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor? Motion carries, thank you, and welcome.
Good luck.
I should have mentioned also, he's been an instructor in the adult ed program as well for Caribou, so I forgot to mention that.
So familiar territory. Perfect. 8.3, Caribou High School opt-out CACFP at-risk after-school program, LD 577.
So every year, we have to make a choice, and when we make a choice to not participate, which is what Alyssa Rector and I are recommending, we have to verbally say, read this portion to make it clear so that it's in the board minutes that we have been given the option and we are choosing to not participate.
A school administrative unit that is required to operate a federal child and adult care food program, CACFP, may choose not to operate such a program if it determines by a vote of the governing body of the school administrative unit after notice and public hearing that operating such a program would be financially or logistically impractical. Please note, an after-school education enrichment activity that is open to all is a requirement to participate in the CACFP at-risk after-school program if a district or school does not provide education and enrichment activities. The district or school does not qualify for CACFP at-risk and must opt out using the guidance from LD 577 or start an open to all education enrichment program. All meals must be consumed on-site and enrichment must be offered on-site. Do we have a motion to opt out?
Can I ask a question now or wait till after the motion?
No, go ahead.
This just applies to after-school program?
This is a particular grant for F37 average, and we don't have the program. We don't. I mean,
Okay, so
we
this
have-
doesn't affect free lunch and free breakfast for us?
Correct. No, it's a completely different.
Good to know. Okay, I move that we, let me find it, that we, Caribou High School opt out of the CACFP after risk program, LD 577.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor? Motion carries. Thank you. 8.4, consider updates to the Caribou High School Scholarship Fund bylaws.
So this year I wanted to actually observe, I'm not necessarily a participant, I'm observing the scholarship committee because that's an area that I wasn't familiar with how the process works. So when I sat in on the first meeting, the scholarship finance meeting that we had, And a couple of people have asked that more join the committees because some people are looking to potentially get off eventually. And so it seemed like if people were just tapping people to come and join the committee, which kind of made me think, do we have criteria or do we just say, hey, Lou, you want to be on the committee? So we got the bylaws out, and the last time that they were reviewed was 1998. It still was referring everything to, Caribou School Department and so on and so forth. So we went through to make some revisions and also found out that there are a couple of things that I don't think we've been exactly following. For example, when a new committee member is brought on to the scholarship committee, it's supposed to be brought to the board for approval. So first and foremost, we thought we need to update the bylaws. So Dave is on that scholarship committee, so he can relate to some of what I'm sharing where we've been doing okay, but I think we need to just tighten things up a little bit and follow our bylaws. So it's an update, the bylaws, it's an update, as you'll see, it's minimal changes. There's an area under donors where it's section 1. It talks about bronze and silver and gold and platinum. We haven't been doing that for years, so we crossed it out because we haven't been doing that. Mark and I found out, we thought we didn't have a scholarship board, and we found out we actually do have a nice, huge scholarship board in the lobby and by the gymnasium and CPAC. And I don't know if that's been updated for a while either. So now we know that we have this huge, beautiful scholarship board that I walk by a gazillion times.
Yeah.
It's there. So, we just want to update the bylaws and follow them as we probably should be. So this doesn't necessarily require your approval, but I think it certainly needs your awareness.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And so then I think that leads into the next 8.5, the scholarship member nomination.
Yes, so like I said, now that we know that we're supposed to do the process, so we would like to include Joey Bard to be a part of the scholarship finance committee and both portions of the process, actually.
So moved.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor? Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm gonna go 8.5A, if that's okay. Consider the proposed 2025-2026 school budget. And the samples are included.
So the last time we met, we had come in with a proposal of an estimated mill increase of 0.96, 0.94. And we're asked to take another look at the budget, which we did. We increased the amount of carryover that we're taking. We originally budgeted $700,000 to take that carryover and put it in operating to help fund the budget. I've looked at, our carryover, where we are, ran it through various scenarios, and I felt comfortable enough that we could increase from 700,000 to 800,000 without really, hopefully not causing too much impact. Of course, the ultimate goal would be to increase your carryover to the, take it to the legal limit so that you have that money available if something, big were to happen. But again, we're pretty comfortable that going from 700 to 800 was doable. So that was one of the items that we did. Another was we had committed, and it's going to be one of our articles at the budget meeting in 2 weeks, to take some tuition revenues and transfer them to the capital improvement fund to build that fund up. And so we're trying to take about half of what we had planned on putting into the capital reserve. So we're using half of that to increase our revenues by that amount, roughly $75,000. And then the third item was the elimination of a ed tech position. And with that, we are currently, and would be proposing, it's equivalent of a mill increase of 0.53 mils. So we took it from 0.96 to 0.53, which is, about as low as, obviously we'll do it whatever the direction of the board, but that's, to me, that's a good, reasonable number that we can live with.
Well, to operate any school system of this size, I don't know the last time I heard any school system doing it at zero flat funding. You're gonna have to expect some kind of increase. And I think 0.5, it's just like, wow, you're there. Looking at what was sent and what you just described, I feel it's a good place to be.
I have a concern, and I know we can't discuss outside of executive session or to a point. I don't know how the ed tech position was chosen. Personally, I would think an ed tech in a, as part of a program such as the library or the commons, should be one of the last ed techs looked at. I know there are ed techs in all over the building, and I'm just wondering if there might not be one that isn't as integral to the workings. Just a question. And did you have a,
So, well, this conversations happens with administrators as well to see where we can take them. So we have a population of special ed techs that we can't touch because they are part of IEPs and that sort of thing. So that population is, pretty secure. We did meet with Dr. McGuffin, asked if he anticipated still meeting the same level and with the number of students that we have, and that was a yes. The next thing we look at is, if we're going to eliminate a position, is what position can we take away that doesn't put students at risk as far as safety? Because we have some positions, ed tech positions, that people are supervising kids, but it's at a time when if we took one away, we don't have enough supervision, for example, on the playground or in the cafeteria with students to meet the expectations. And with that said, also, we also look at our areas on the 279. And, our 279, we are getting dinged pretty big time. We're supposed to have 7 ed techs and we have 12. So there are, when you're over that much, you get less money in the 279, and it's more because what they're saying is this is what you should appropriately have. And if you have more than that, then you're going to pay for it on your own dime because we feel like you're not running efficiently. So we take that into consideration when we meet with the administrators and I and have conversations about safety. The last piece that we do look at is we try to positions that we eliminate to as best we can to see if there's a possible opening so that we're not having somebody lose a job completely. It's just the position would be eliminated, but there are vacancies elsewhere that if so choosing, could a person take those? So it's not the first thing on the list we look at, but it's certainly something we take into consideration because we try not to let people go because we know it's, livelihood and it's money. So we look at all of those factors when making these decisions, but part of it is Mark and I looking at the 279 and trying to be, part of it is being more efficient.
So we were looking at what Mrs. McCall was saying. Our district is being punished to the tune of $124,000 because we're not staffed. I don't want to say staffed correctly, but staffed to the
standards
what
they set.
The standards that the DOE set. So by having more staff than what they technically say you should should have. In this particular case, we're 120, we're losing 124,000 in subsidy.
Won't we still be dinged because we're just going from 12 to 11?
We're eliminating the position, so we would,
It would help.
The other positions are supported and funded by title funds. So we're getting dinged, but their salaries and benefits are paid for with title funds.
I'm just concerned because it sounds like it will really affect programming. And I would hate to see the kids lose out on programming.
But in talking with Mr. Barnes and Dr. Karen, that's one of the concerns that we had, and how can they have conversations about continuing to work? I mean, if we can get our innovations up and running fully capacity with our GT person, and that GT person is supposed to be part-time innovation, so some of the innovation, the STEAM stuff should be done by that individual, so that the kids have those opportunities, students have those opportunities still.
But we don't have those in place yet.
We have them advertised, we don't have somebody hired yet, correct? But if we get a GT/innovation person, some of those activities, I'm not suggesting, because what Stephanie and Stacy do is absolutely exceptional. It's not about the performance of the individual at all.
No,
It's
understood.
truly about the position. It's not about the individual at all. They both run a beautiful program. There's no doubt about it. But one of the things that I've talked with, like I said, the two administrators, is what can we do so that the students don't lose out? We're really at a point that it's like, last year when we eliminated a grade level position, when we're at a point whenever you take somebody away, we are running efficiently, in my opinion. Obviously, the 279, the MGOE, they don't necessarily agree with us, but they've got their whole formula. So any person we take out of this building or eliminate, you're right, I mean, there's an impact. There's no doubt about it. But at some point, we just have to look at all those factors and make some decisions.
and they were acting on a directive by the board to get it closer to 0.53, so it had to come from somewhere.
We did, I mean, we searched everywhere and at the last meeting, we were at a point where we said, if we have to go below the 9.4, we've cut everything else we can cut as far as operations, unless you want the building to start coming down on you, that any other decreases would have to come from staffing. And I think we were
You actually did better.
we were creative with coming up with 2 additional revenue sources.
Because originally it was 3 staff member that were
We had 3
on.
staff members.
Correct.
Listed.
Correct.
Eliminated.
And I don't know that in that situation, there were 3 openings that could be shifted. It was, I don't know, I don't remember, but hypothetically, I don't think was as much wiggle room available as there is in this scenario.
Correct.
And
I know we're compacting the library at the high school. Do we have an ed tech / person up there, or is?
Sarah.
Oh,
She's an ed tech.
so so that remains?
Correct.
Okay.
I move to accept this latest proposal on the budget for 25-26 school year.
5.53.
Yes.
I second the motion on the school budget.
any further discussion? All in favor? Motion carries. Thank you. And thank you to all of our administrators, Jane, Mark, all of the building administrators on all of your hard work. I know it's not been easy and we've tasked you with a very difficult job, but I think we all appreciate how much work you've done compared to where we were sitting last year.
And just to be noted, Jan voted yes, she couldn't get through. She sent a text, I can forward it to you, or you can read it yourself if you'd like.
Thank you. 8.6, position elimination for 2025-2026. It is recommended to eliminate the CCS librarian ed tech position. I want to reiterate, position, not person.
I move to eliminate the CCS library and ed tech position for 25-26 school year.
You want me to second it, Lou? I'll second it. Is there any further discussion? All in favor? Motion carries. Oh,
Jan?
Yeah,
Voted yes.
Is that your vote or
She's in
you?
the dark. We can't see you.
What is your vote, Jan?
yeah, I'm voting to pass it.
Okay.
motion carries. Thank you. 8 point, go ahead.
Did Mrs. Bowie abstain or voted?
I voted no.
No, okay.
8.7, warrant to call regional school unit number 39, budget meeting, I'm sorry. Standing too far away.
You're getting way too
Do we have
So we are tentatively a date of May 21st, 2025, 5:30 at the CPAC.
So moved.
Is there,
Second.
thank you. Any further discussion? All in favor? Motion carries. Do we have this? No, we signed this after.
I think Jan just raised her hand too.
Thank you.
How can you see her?
Fine.
She's keeping an eye for us.
The shadow.
8.8, warrant and notice of election calling regional school unit budget validation referendum, which is all in the packet. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor? Motion carries. Thank you. That leads us to superintendent report. 9.1, resignations.
Resignation, Adam Babin, cook at Caribou High School.
9.2, if you want to, Ms. McCall, go ahead.
Okay. 9.2, retirements. I didn't really want to accept this one, but I didn't have any choice. Business manager Mark Bushard has decided to retire in September, right? So he's going to be with us for a while longer. But he's going to get out there and enjoy and have fun.
But has agreed to come back and help should
That's
necessary.
right.
Yeah. Yep. I don't have any transfers at this time. New hires, this is a little odd. This actually should have been put under, the new business, but, it's a little bit of a unique situation. So we're recommending the hire of Steve Perrault as science teacher at Caribou High School. Steve has been working as a long-term sub. That's why I say it's kind of quirky. He's been working as a long-term sub or a one-year contract for he's finishing his third year. So he hasn't really been officially offered a continuing contract of any sort. He's just been year by year. So that's why we were not unsure where to put him, to be honest. But the recommendation is Steve Perrault for the high school science teacher.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
I'm thinking we do we have to make a motion for that?
We do.
Thank you.
Yes, because he has never officially been well, he was
Right.
years ago.
So was this considered just a hire, rehire for him?
There's just
Because before he was
Long-
technically a long-term sub.
right, so now,
And so this puts him back into the mix, so.
yeah,
he retired.
correct.
So he's been away from it a long enough time out of that role.
He hasn't really been. He
No, I
came,
mean,
he retired and came right back to the sub.
but I mean legality.
Yeah, by the
Contract,
right.
There's a second. Is there any further discussion? All in favor? Motion carries. Thank you.
And the last person, it doesn't require a vote, but Jocelyn Schedule as a cook at Caribou High School.
Thank you.
Don't need to vote on that one, the cook.
Thank you.
There are a couple other hires and you need a motion. So
Well, that's, we just put, I said Steve in the wrong place, but anyway.
For enclosures, 10.1 athletic Athletics Director Communication. It looks like we have something enclosed.
Yeah, and Evan will be presenting more about that probably in June. It's just about the classification of sports and some changes. So he'll get into more detail, but our basketball will be identified as a Class C due to enrollment. But like I said, he'll get into all of that in more detail. And it is only the basketball. The other sports remain Class B, correct, Evan?
Correct.
So, and more details on that probably later in June on the lighter agenda.
Thank you.
So,
10.2, end of year activities.
and that's an enclosure that was given to you. It's just kind of a compilation of some of the highlights of things that will be happening at both of the buildings and the tech center as well. So just some dates to be looking for if you choose to participate in some of those things. We appreciate and like having you.
Wonderful. I need to put graduation in my phone.
Yes.
Need to put that in there. 11.0, other matters. Do you have anything, Dave? Anything, Lou?
I do not.
Ms. McCall?
I just had two very quick things. One is, you'll notice I put something, it's Stephanie Raymond received an award. She has been doing some prevention activities here. It's about vaping, and that's something, the education's been happening at our school, but not to the level that she's been performing it. So you can read all about it, but Stephanie Raymond is new to us this year as a nurse, and she's hit the ground running, and she came with this training under her belt and offered to continue it here with our students. And so like I said, you've got it all there, and I don't need to read it to you. And the other update I wanted to just tell you about is, once again, so it's Nurses Day, Nurses Week, I don't know. But
Yes,
anyway,
Nurses
so
Week.
so we're gonna give our nurses credit where credit is due, because we're very, very fortunate to have the 3 nurses that we do. An update from Lana Picard about our dental team, our dental program. St. Apollonia has been able to serve 44 different students at CCS so far this year. Some of the students have had more than 1 cleaning, and they plan on 2 more days here next month. And St. Apollonia has also pre-scheduled 9 days between September and December of the next school year. So that's huge. And then Aroostook Dental Hygiene has served 28 different students, and most of these students have been served twice during this school year. And they plan on being here 1 more day in mid-May. So we're lucky to have that cooperative agreement with these dental organizations, because as we all know, dentists are really busy, but I wanted to just share those things with you.
Thank you. That brings us to executive sessions. We'll start with 12.1. I move the board enter into an executive session to consider the re-entry of expelled students pursuant to 1 MRSA subsection 405(6)(b). Thank you. Any further discussion? All in favor? Thank you, everybody.